Hey, welcome back to the video coaching series here on Coach Church, and welcome to 2019, a whole new year. If you haven't already gotten your shit together, now's the time. All right, guys. Today I've got a letter from a gentleman who has self-diagnosed with severe porn-induced erectile dysfunction. He has some questions about that, how to deal with it. He's a few weeks into his journey, how to go about rewiring, and how to best recover. So I'm going to read from his letter and make my comments. He says, "Hi, first of all, I just want to thank you for everything you did to help the people like me. I read your book, not all parts, but most of it, and I found a lot of helpful advice, same in your videos. Well, first things first, you should read it all, and especially if you're struggling with this issue yourself, addiction, sexual dysfunction, read the guide to recovery 5 times, 10 times, as many times as you need to really understand and really know that section front to back. We only retain like 10% of what we read each time we read it. So to really understand something, if it's important, if it's going to change your life, read it multiple times. Knowledge is power, my friend. I would just ask you if you could give me more information or make a video about severe porn-induced erectile dysfunction, because I believe I have that, or a physical problem, although I highly doubt it, but I will go see a doctor just in case. Even with porn, I don't get fully hard anymore." So, porn-induced erectile dysfunction, if you're watching this, you probably already know some about it. You've probably seen my other videos. It's a process of conditioning one's sexuality to pornography and desensitizing their sexual response system to sexual stimuli. Because pornography, and specifically internet pornography, with its unlimited abundance and variety and free access, can overwhelm our sexual processing ability that exists deep in our brain, our ability to process sexual stimuli and turn that into qualitative arousal. And that's overwhelmed, and it becomes more and more numbed as the years of pornography use march on. And through that time, as we need more and more stimulating content or specific content to get aroused, it can too become more difficult to get aroused or impossible to do so and maintain an erection for real sex. So that's what PIED is. But people can get to the point where they use so much pornography that they can no longer even get aroused or maintain an erection for porn anymore. And that's still in the realm of PIED. It doesn't mean necessarily that there's some other physical problem. I've worked with many people who have reached this point. It's still entirely reversible. You can recover. It might take you longer than for the average rebooter, but that shouldn't matter, because no matter how long it takes, this is temporary, and it is very, very much worth the journey. Now, if you do have any sort of doubt that this might be something else, there might be a physical cause or some nutritional or hormonal imbalance or deficiency, then yeah, I absolutely recommend you go see a doctor. Go see a urologist, get yourself checked out, see if there's any other possible cause for this sexual dysfunction. If there is, it's better to catch it now and address it. And if not, then it should confirm for you that pornography is the problem and reconfirm your commitment to living porn-free. I do warn you that most doctors still are not very well versed in understanding porn-induced erectile dysfunction or other porn-induced sexual dysfunctions. So they may tell you that it's all in your head, you're just nervous. In your case, maybe not, since you are unable to maintain an erection when masturbating, and there should be no reason to have performance anxiety when you're alone. But many doctors will say, oh, it's all in your head, and they might prescribe you erectile dysfunction medication like Viagra or Cialis, just to help you get over that emotional bump and give you a confidence booster so that you can have sex for the first few times and then wean yourself off of that as you become more used to having sex. But if they don't understand porn-induced erectile dysfunction, that's what they might give you. But if you know that you have PIED, then that is not the solution. The solution, as I've talked about before, of course, quit pornography. I also advise quitting masturbation, at least until you're recovered, and allow time to heal yourself, to become resensitized to sexual stimuli, and to retrain yourself to respond to the touch of another person, to being intimate with another person, rather than being aroused by a screen. Most people talk about their struggles to resist porn, but for the last 3 weeks, I just started this journey. I have no urges to fap and almost no libido. That's normal. A lot of people encounter this, what we call a flatline, either at the beginning of their journey or in the middle, or even months and months after quitting pornography, as it was with me in my own recovery. A flatline is a period in which you have very little to no libido. Your genitalia might feel numb or shrunken, and it can be comorbid with certain emotional symptoms as well, such as depression, anxiety, lack of energy, lack of motivation, etc. We call this a flatline because it feels like your libido and your sexuality is dead. But it's not. This is always temporary, and it does end. It can be as long as a few days to many months, even upwards of a year, though that is rare. None of us really understand the mechanisms behind a flatline, but how I think of it and how I have come to understand it after working with dozens and more people who have gone through flatlines and having experienced them myself, is that it's the body's way of shutting down that sexual response system so that it can heal. If you break your arm, what do? You put it in a sling, you put it in a cast, and you allow it time to rest, not be used, so that it can heal. And then once it's healed enough, you start to use it a little bit. But it takes time to come back to that ability to use it just as much as you would use your other arm to use it to its full functionality. So this reboot period of rest is sometimes forced by the body with a flatline, telling you like, now's not the time to pursue sex, you have no sex drive. The worst thing you can do is to try to force your way out of this flatline, try to make it end prematurely by using pornography, by fantasizing and masturbating, etc. So give it time, try to focus yourself on other aspects of your life, learn as much as you can about this process, what other people have experienced and gone through, and you'll make it through to the other side. And when you do, you'll know when the flatline is ending for you. You will feel it in your body, in your brain, in your attraction to the people in your real life, in random erections or morning erections that you get that are stronger than you've had in a long time. And you will notice when the flatline is ending. His last question is, I suspect my recovery will last a little bit longer. Also, a specific question, should I give myself a little rest from erections for a few weeks or months, or should I start the rewiring process with real girls right away? Well, rewiring doesn't just mean attempting sex. Rewiring, especially for someone who doesn't have much social contact with women or men or whatever type of person they're interested in sexually, if you don't have much social contact with them already, then rewiring can be as simple as just hanging out with them, having fun, chatting, getting to know women, being around them. And that's where it can start. It can be as simple and innocent as that. And there's no reason to delay in that regard. Go out, meet people, have fun, have a social life, make friends with women, even if you're not ready to date yet. Now, I can make a whole video, and I should actually, about why we should be befriending women and not just pursuing them for romantic relationships. But for now, just trust me that it's something you should be doing. It will provide you with a myriad of benefits, and it will make it much easier to find dating opportunities in the future when you decide that you're ready for that. Now, if you do meet someone that you have a spark with, a connection with, and you want to explore where that goes before your flatline has ended, there's no reason to put that off or delay it. You can start to date, you can start to get to know someone, but I do recommend that you wait for the flatline to end naturally on its own and feel that resurgence of your libido before attempting actual sexual intimacy. It just tends to go better when you wait for that period to end and that sex drive to come back before trying any sexual intimacy of that sort. Now, the possible exception to this is in very long flatlines, 6 months or more, where it can be beneficial to start practicing intimacy anyway and sort of kickstart your sex drive back into gear. But for most people, they should wait until the flatline ends on its own. And that will be apparent when you feel it happening. All right, everybody, that was his letter. It says, thank you in advance and God bless you. You have all my best wishes, my friend. You're only 3 weeks into this. You have a lot left to learn, a lot of progress left to see. Have faith that this is going to help you. If you want to go to a doctor and rule out anything else, please go do so. But once they tell you that There's nothing physically wrong with you. Have faith that no matter how long it takes, this journey is going to take you where you want to go. And if anyone out there wants some personal help, personal guidance, I offer ways to work with me on my website, addictedtointernetporn.com. Again, welcome to 2019. Happy New Year, everybody, and I'll see you next time.